So there's obviously no flying today. So a good time for me to do a review on the SYS'Nav variometer I just recently purchased. The SYRide company out of France is very popular in Europe, but not as well known in the US. I've used their Sys Evolution flight computer, really have enjoyed it, but I thought I'd get something a little more compact. So let me give you my first impressions on the new SYRide SYS'Nav variometer. So the SYRide SYS'Nav variometer. I'll be putting this on my risers. I wanted something more compact. These large toggle switches enable you to go back and forth in the different menus that you can customize, and I'll show you how that's done. You can also access the settings menu on the instrument itself. There's some other customization you can do online, what they call their SYS PC tool, and I'll show you how to do that. But very easy, very straightforward, easily readable in a bright sun. I've actually used this in flight, and I'll go through that part 2 later on. I'll show you how it works in flight. A very nice variometer. So far, I think it's worked out very well. You can see here there's some Velcro straps that are provided, and this is where I just attached it to my riser. It also has a little strap there where you can do a little safety line. So today is quite the rainy day. Yesterday I was very lucky. I was able to fly. I could use the new Vario, which is what I'm going to kind of do an initial review today. My initial impressions, I should say. And I have used the SYRide products in the past. I'll pull up their website here. SYRide is not as popular in the US, it seems. There's certainly some other more well-known Varios that you can buy here. There is a dealer that imports a SYRide. I've purchased the SYS Evolution, which is what I've used for quite some time. Actually, it's been a couple of years. Not as compact as I would have liked. I could never get a real good comfortable fitting with my Easiness 3 harness, so I decided, well, I'm going to do something where I can put it attached to the risers, and that's when I've got the SYS'Nav version 3. I thought I would go for the top of the line one to give me more options down the road. They're very reasonably priced, and another reason to maybe consider it. The one thing I do like about these products is, one, they have a great website where you can transfer all your flight data and keep track of your flights, hours, and so forth. And I'll show you that here a little bit later. It's also very customizable in that you can, using the software that they provide, you can customize each screen just the way you like it. The first thing you'd want to do is, in this particular case, you go to the software menu and you want to download what they call their SYS PC tool. As you can see, this basically helps you download flights. You can transfer your customized screens to the instrument, upgrade the instruments, and so on. You are going to need a Windows or Mac computer, or if you do Linux, you can use that. I use the Chromebooks quite a bit, and unfortunately I cannot download the software. That's one of the things about Chromebooks, is pretty much everything's in the cloud. So I do use my Mac for certain things, and this is one of them. So I've already downloaded it into my Mac, and this brings up the PC tool here. So you basically just open the PC tool, and I already have my Vario that's beeping at me already. It really wants to go fly. They do have a cable that's provided, and I just plug in the USB connector into my computer. And now you can see the Vario is showing up on the PC tool. From here, you can do a number of things. One is it will usually check for the firmware. I've seen that come up on here. You'll see where it checks for the firmware. It looks like I'm at version 3.34 now, which is the most up-to-date version of this Vario. When you're in this screen here, you'll download any recorded flights that you haven't already downloaded. I already did that, so it can see on here there's no flights available. They've already been downloaded to the website. You can also edit certain parameters, such as your rising think thresholds for your Vario. One of the things I noticed in my last flight is that it was constantly beeping at me. And that was because I had this lifty air on. And if you go to the question mark here, it's going to say that this feature enables to emit a special sound when you're flying near 0 meters per second. And it was doing that. Boy, it got a little bit too, got a little crazy. So I have now turned that off. I'll see how that works next time I'm in the air. So they will give you some recommended values. As you can see, they're going to say, yeah, maybe you should have that off. And so that's what I've done. And as you go to each question mark, again, it's going to tell you what the recommended value is. Sensitivity-wise, I pretty much have stayed with all the recommendations until I think I want to try something different. So once you're done with editing this screen, you just simply send it to your Vario. I'm going to just cancel here. I'm not changing anything. In this screen, you would send a file to your instrument. You have saved on a separate piece of software, which I'll show you in a second. Basically, it's online. You customize the screens. You save it into a certain file. For example, I have mine in a SYRIDE file. These are all the screens I've already customized. And you simply choose one, open it up, and it'll automatically go right to your Vario at that point. I'm just going to cancel out. I have actually gone in and made my own customized screens. I've edited it a couple of times. You can even make various versions of the screens you like. Perhaps depending on where you're going, you want different screens on your Vario, so you're able to do that too. Really takes very little time to just change the screens you want in your Vario. So this is the PC tool, and you just want to make sure you can download this with no problem in your computer. Again, you're going to need a Windows or Mac. Really, those are the two practical operating systems to use. So I'm going to get out of this for right now, and I'm going to go to the website, and this is your SYRIDE website again. I'm going to go to the Tools menu, and here you have SYS'Nav, Vario. You want to make sure you're on the right Vario because this customization tool is going to vary for each different Vario you might have. So I'm at SYS'Nav, SC tool. It should show you the Vario that you're working with, in which case this is the one I have. It has 4 available screens, you can see here. It does come with a default screen, which you can use if you think that's going to be work just fine for you. I did go through and I wanted to customize the screens. I have found that I just like my screens to be very simple. I want to look at it, find the information I want, then I don't want to fixate on it. And so, for example, my first screen here, I went ahead and just picked first Vario. I wanted a big size Vario right here, meters per second. That screen will show up and you just drag it over to where you want it. And again, you can move that all around. Next, you might want, let's say, altitude. How about my GPS altitude? I do that in feet. Maybe I want medium-sized GPS altitude. I'll put that down here, and so on. So you just go in and fill from all these different menus what you want in each screen. Again, each screen can be obviously different depending on what information you want. It's easy to toggle from screen to screen. Little toggle switches there. You just go forward and back. They're big, they're bold. You can easily use those with big gloves on, which is what I did yesterday. This is a little cool up there. So again, you would go through, you want to do up to 4 screens. You don't have to do 4. Once you have those screens the way you want it, you simply download your setup file to where you want it in your computer, and then from there, your tool again, and you're going to be able to then upload it right here. As I showed you before, you simply go and open it, and it's simple as that. Really straightforward. I've done this a few times, and it's not hard. Really straightforward, easy to do. So I guess what I do like about the SYS'Nav, and I must say I have not used other Varios that much. I've used the Ascent Vario, very basic Vario wearing my wrist. I've used the SYS Evolution now, which is also SYS'Nav instruments. What I do like is so easy to customize. You can have it exactly the way you want it. So that's maybe the big plus of the SYS'Nav. That may be available in some respects on the other Varios. You let me know. You probably have your favorite and what you like. The SYS'Nav Varios seem to me very reasonably priced compared to similar features on the other Varios. SYS'Nav seems to be a little less expensive, depending on where you get them. So that may not be the reason to buy this, but maybe something to consider. I'll put a link down below to the dealer who does bring them into the U.S. I bought several things from that particular dealer, and seems to be no problem, sends them off right away, and a very good company to deal with. You also see here some of the other tools. Obviously there's a user manual. We talked about the SSC tool, which customizes your screens, the software which you use to download the flights, and then you have airspaces, topography, other things you can also transfer to your Vario. You can even change the sounds if you want, your GPS sounds, your nav, and so on. So your Vario sounds, all that can be changed. You have the route markers. I have not used these. Again, that's not something that I have done. So, but that is another part of the customization that you can do with the Varios. So the next thing I wanted to show you is where your flights go once you download those into the SYS'Nav website. So you're going to go into your account, which you have already set up. In this case, I'm going to go to my account. And again, from here, you can have whatever you have in feet or meters, whatever your preference. So once you get your flights in, they'll show up in a format like this. These are the last 3 flights I've made. These are the ones I did yesterday with the Vario. And if you click on here, you're going to get, obviously, an enlarged version of your flight. And so you can enlarge it, you can make it smaller, you can also see your elevation, altitude over a period of time. You're going to give you some information here. Obviously, I gained 75 feet, not a big day, but I did gain altitude rather than lose it all the way down to the beach, which I have been known to do on several occasions. The longest flight I had yesterday was 28 minutes. That was pretty nice. I was out there before it got crowded, and it really only got flyable, I would say, for 2 hours total. It was very calm until about 1 o'clock, and then around 3 o'clock it started to shut down again. So it was really nice to be out there. They had some tandems show up. I came down when the tandems came up because, again, there was some scratching on some of the faces towards the end of the day or the end of the flying time. But it was a very nice day. So you can also manage your wings here. You can see that most of my flight time has been with the Epsilon 8, which I recently sold, but started to build up time in the Pi2 now. You can also, if you didn't have an instrument, you can add it in manually here if you just want to add your flights. All right, so that's it for the SYS'Nav products. I'll show that here to you again. These are all their different products. Very nice instrument. I really like using it. The key feature for me, as I've mentioned, it's very customizable. They're very reasonably priced. I'll put a link down below to the dealer who does carry them. But let me know what you've been using and whether or not your instrument also is very customizable. I've not used any other Vario other than the one, the Ascent, the original Ascent. I think they're up to the Ascent 2 now. One I've worn on my wrist, which is very nice too. But I I like this compromise. I'm able to use this Vario right on my riser set. Easy to customize those screens. All right, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, or again, let me know what you've been using, and I look forward to hearing from you. So until next time, again, thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye now.